And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. We're about to connect in with our friends over on Amazon Live with our next guest. But before we did that, I wanted to chat with you all just a little bit to tell you a little bit about what's going on with us for the month of October. As you guys know, it is National Book Month. October is recognized for a lot of different things, but for book guys like myself, it's a very big deal. So all this month, all 31 days, we're going to be bringing you guys some great programming on Amazon Live as well as on our social media as well. And we're kicking things off today. We had some great guests on Conversations Live, the radio show today. Now we're kicking it off on Amazon Live with our next guest. Chris Collier is back with us today. Chris is the author of this book, Program to Win. You all see it there. I see you all already coming in on the Facebook side and also there on YouTube. Appreciate you. Chris, glad to have you back on with us, man.
I just feel like I just got off with you. We
Right.
do this quite often, and I enjoy you and your viewers.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Well, Chris, this is going to be a great conversation. And I think it's going to be an encouraging conversation for our audience because I think as we're going into this last quarter of 2021, a year that has definitely been different for a lot of people. We're going to talk about how your book kind of came about, Chris. While we're chatting here, I'm going to go ahead and make some changes here on the Facebook side to make it easy for people to be able to connect with you over there, as well as we're going to go ahead and make this public instead of just one of my friends on Facebook, so they can be able to find you there too. But I'm excited about this, Chris. Definitely for people who do not have your book, we want them to be able to get it. So we're going to tell them how to do that. Also, of course, we'll be letting them know how to stay connected with you. And Chris, one of the things you're doing, because you also, outside of being an author and speaker, you also are a media personality yourself, and you're running a special during a National Book Month. Tell our viewers about that before we go live here on Amazon.
Sure. It's $49. You get time. We do a podcast. We make it tailored to you so you can get your brand, your message out, and really get what you want and what you desire to help other people grow, what your end goal, your transformation process for your audience. So that way you can find the best people that fit you. And then also you can build new audience members or customer base based upon the message you bring through a podcast.
Yeah. And we're going to be posting about that a little bit later on social media. So, Chris, appreciate you sharing that and excited about it. We're going to connect with Amazon Live and get started with our chat today, okay?
Sounds great.
All right. And you are watching Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For those who are tuning in here on Amazon Live, as well as joining us through Facebook, LinkedIn, as well as YouTube, we welcome you all as well. This is the month of October, and we're kicking it off with a lot of special programming on Amazon Live because it is National Book Month. Hashtag National Book Month. So you can literally see us all this month, being able to share some great guests with you, some great books with you, and have some great chats with you about books that we recommend, and also some surprise guests, some really surprise guests that are going to be coming up. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. There's been some updates on the Amazon Live platform, so I want to let you guys know whether you're joining us on your laptop, desktop, or mobile device, you'll now will notice the follow button is below us. So you will see below my guest, Chris Collier and myself, you'll see the follow button there. Definitely feel free to give us a follow. Also, you will see the carousel that includes the Kindle edition and the print edition of Chris's book, Program to Win. Chris Collier is back with us. I had our first chat with Chris on Amazon Live during prime time here on Amazon Live. Now he's back to talk to us about the book and what life has been like since then. Chris, glad to have you back on with us.
Glad to be here.
So, Chris, I want to talk about this journey for you. I mean, we are now in the home stretch of the end of 2021. It has been, I have to say for myself, this year has flown by. There's been so many moving parts. It's flown by for me. The big challenges for me, quite honestly, and I don't even know if you know this, Chris, it's been my mother's been having some health issues the past few months. Today was a good day, so that's a good thing. But everyone, I bring that up because everybody is dealing with something. And that ties into the conversation we're going to be having here today because, you're someone, you're a motivational speaker, you're an author, you're a media personality yourself. And people think that we are always on. They think that we are always ready for whatever happens in life. What has this year been like for you, Chris?
This has been, if those of you were able to see the package I put together beforehand, it says the year of the letdown. It's been a real letdown year for me. And I want to say something about the book, if I may.
Sure.
The book, sometimes I'm also not only a media personality and all that, but I'm also a pastor. So sometimes God gives us the word that happens before, gives the word that's about what's going to happen. You could say it's prophetic even. This program to win, let me tell you, I've had to really live this book out. We went from doing really well to barely getting by, not because finances were bad, but because we've had people that we allowed into our life to promise us things and they've let us down. And I want to encourage the people that are listening that just because you've had a letdown doesn't mean that you've been let down. You got to turn your lemons into lemonade. You got to turn your downturns into ways to rebound. Yeah. Because if you're being forced down and you're being forced down and you push down and you don't like it, go with it. Because if you go with it, you're going to hit bottom and bounce right back up like a ball, right? Down and up. And so if you resist that force of going down, sometimes it will resist you coming back up. So I've had to learn how to embrace the hardness, right? I remember hearing a couple social media personalities saying about jobs. You know, my job's really hard, or my job sucks. The thing is like at the end of the day, you could also say that something else you want to do is really hard. You got to just choose what's going to be hard. And as you're choosing that hardness, that situation, that problem, that circumstance, you got to understand to embrace it. Stay in your passion, stay in your purpose, and that'll help you get through all this mess that life throws at you. And when you get a mess, you get to create a new message.
I love that, Chris, and I appreciate the honesty there, and you're sharing that. I want to say on the Amazon Live side, Deanna, I see you over there. Thank you so much for following us here on Amazon Live. I also appreciate you guys tuning in on Facebook and YouTube there. I see you guys as well. If you guys have any questions or comments for Chris as we're going throughout the conversation, feel free to be able to post those. Chris, you know, the transparency I think is so important. I have had to, not a situation like what you're talking about, but last month I was really transparent on social media about something that was going on with a part of my business. It wasn't a bad thing, but I had choices I had to make. And I think that's the thing for all of us. We all have choices to make. Do you find it more difficult, Chris? I'm curious, because you are in the public, are those choices more difficult for you because you realize it's not just going to impact you, it's going to impact the brand that you're building?
Honestly, Cyrus, I know this is going to sound a little bit, what impacts me the most is my family. I don't let social media, I was doing what I do with whether I have a following or not. So John Maxwell said, if you're leading and no one's following, you're just watching by yourself. So at the end of the day, though, is I've been doing this all by myself. So whether you follow me or not, whether you like me or not is not important in the sense of this. I've got to be true to myself.
Yeah.
I've got to be true to the things I'm called to do, the way I'm made. And so I'm like some drinks, right? Some drinks aren't made for everybody. Some people don't like tea. Some people don't like coffee. Some people don't like Coke. Some people don't like water. All these things, water's made for everybody, but not everybody likes it. So here's the thing. Not everyone's going to like me. That's why there's a Cyrus Webb. That's why there's a Gary Vaynerchuk. That's why there's Tony Robbins. There's all these different personalities out here. That's why there's Oprah Winfrey. All these different personalities out here. You can follow any or all of them, but there's going to be some parts of them you don't like. And at the end of the day, is you have to embrace who you are and go full throttle with it.
Well, I think, you know, that brings up another question then, Chris, because that is the conundrum, right, of being in the public and doing the type of work that we do, because people, again, because of our messages, people expect that we're going to be on, you know, that we're going to be the person. In fact, even when you and I discussed Program to Win when you were on here last time, you know, there were several things that we talked about that, you know, were great messages for others. Did you find yourself, because you mentioned that sometimes God gives us things, do you find yourself that you had to end up practicing what you were preaching to us in the book?
Absolutely. Because here's the end of the day. It's like, you know, I remember a long time ago I was told delay is not denial.
Yeah.
So just because you delay something, just because you retreat, look at one of the best strategies you can have in the Army or in military terms is a temporary retreat, get a good ground, and then come forward. I found I had a retreat this year. I was going strong with my social media and podcasts and different things. I had a retreat for a while because my base got swept away. And without getting into too much detail, is I found myself in a place where I was barely treading water. And so, you can be on all the time and be not. I think what people really want, they want to find someone who's legitimate that they can relate to, and if I'm not relatable, then there's a problem because people aren't going to like me. They want someone that's like them, but not too much like them, where they're uh, struggling with the same struggles, but not too much dislike where they don't know what they're going through. So when you're dealing with living situations, family issues, friends issues, and you're dealing with all these things and juggling them with your business, because actually social media, podcasting, media personality, all this stuff is really just a business, right?
Right.
It's just another side of our life. I do this to make the rest of my life easier. When it becomes a burden, it has to go away. When it's a blessing to others and I can do it, I'm glad to do it, to be a help. But when it becomes dominating, then it's not fun anymore. I mean, you do this because you like it, you enjoy it, you get paid well to do it. But if it ever became a burden, I'm sure you'd be ditching it real quick. So at the end of the day, is you got to find joy in what you do. Sure, there's days, a day or two, that's a burden. But I'm talking about when it becomes a drag all the way around. And you have to find, and you got to know yourself and be honest with yourself. And I'm not saying the podcasting and social media side was a drag and stuff. It was the other circumstances that I had to live through. I had to just take a retreat. I had to get my mind right. Because guess what? Chris Collier, I wrote this. But guess what? Still had to, you're always developing your mind. You're always developing your spirit. You're always developing if you're not developing, you're dying.
That's so true, Chris. Let's. I want to dive more into that because you said something that came to me that's actually in the book. I want to actually read it and talk to you about it. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, you're watching Cyrus Webb Presents. We are kicking off a National Book Month, hashtag National Book Month, the month of October, and we're excited to welcome Chris Collier to our program. Chris is the author of this book program to win. We have the Kindle edition. It's highlighted right now. It's $3.99. You all can get it there, or you can get the paperback, as I have, it's $8.99. We're going to remind you of that as well. You also can find my review of Chris's book there on Amazon. So feel free to click the book there in the carousel there on the Amazon Live side. You guys can be able to get your own copy of it. But Chris, you said this when it comes to the principle and actions of the successful. And I thought this was really interesting. You said there are 14 principles of success and 7 activities of all successful people. I wanted to hone in on 3 of the 14 principles that you said. 1 is to hang around people that are where you want to be. 2, always have a great attitude. Well, it's actually number 5, but I'm saying that's the second one. I'm going to bring it up. And 3, which is number 10 in the book, know where you want to go. I want to talk to you about those 3 because I think for anyone who's dealing with any type of challenge, we all have heard you are the company that you keep. How important was that evaluation for you to see not only how you got to a certain place, but what contributed to you getting to that certain place?
Can I match these all together? Is that all
Sure.
right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Sure.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quote Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor says, you can go anywhere you want to go as long as you know, 1, where you are, and 2, where you want to go. So the thing is if you don't know where you want to go, if you don't know what you want to do, then anywhere is fine. So if you don't know where, and so watch this. If you know where you are, if you're at $50,000 a year and you want to make 120, you better start finding people who make 120 and hang around them or get their information and start putting their information in your mind, in your spirit. So you start becoming more like a $120,000 person. And then you're only as successful as the 5 closest people to you. The 5 closest people. It's proven. It's just proven. You don't have to like it. You don't have to embrace it. It's just truth. So if you're hanging around people who barely making it, stealing, begging, uh, selling their body or the drugs to just get by, guess what? That's who you're going to become. You got to hang around, even if just YouTube. You can hang around people on YouTube and have virtual mentors, and they can influence you to get to where you want to go. You got to surround yourself, and that's one of the things. Is like sometimes you become toxic to yourself. You don't believe the promises that have been given to you about yourself. You have to get into scripture. You have to get into people who think differently than you, challenge your broke thinking, and then you have to break your broke thinking so you can think like a wealthy person. Because no wealthy person wants to hang around a poor person because it just drags them down. Think about this, Cyrus. So you had somebody who was a client of yours. How long would they last as a client? If every time you gave them something to do, they said, I don't want to do that. It's not part of what I want to do. And you're giving positive reinforcement and say, this is how we do it. And I would like you to do it this way. They wouldn't be a client long because you have the proof. You are the proof of your success.
Yeah.
Watch this, a physical trainer. They're saying, hey, I want you to get in shape. Let's run 3 miles or 1 mile a day for 3 days a week. Let's work out for 15, 20 minutes here on these days. And you say, I don't want any part of that. They have the proof. They're in shape. You never see too many overweight personal trainers because they are the product. They're selling themselves. And just like social media, just like anything else, you are the product. People don't buy products from businesses. They buy products from people. You have to be, someone has to like you, know you, and respect you enough and trust you to buy that product, buy that service, buy your book, buy my book. Maybe you don't like, know, or trust me. Get to know me more. Maybe you'll like my book. Maybe you'll like me, and then you'll like the book. So at the end of the day, is we have to build up that know, like, and trust factor, and we got to keep a good attitude because no matter what happens, your attitude is your altitude. So you're not going to go any farther than your attitude because once again, you have a stinky attitude. You get around really successful people, they're not going to want you around. They may, after a while, they're going to be like, "This isn't rubbing off the way we planned." So we're going to have to part ways because I can't have your stinking thinking influencing me as a successful person. So it's hard. And sometimes people say, oh, you can't be that mean. No, I love myself that much. I can't be around the negative like that.
Yeah. And Chris, this is everything that you're saying is so important. And the thing is, you're living it. And I tell people, I don't talk about things I don't know. If I don't know something, I'm just going to tell you I don't know. And there's a lot I don't know. But what I do know, I do like to share. And I want to ask you this question because I have personally felt like I would not be where I am today if I had not gone through the things I've gone through up until this point. Not saying, a lot of times people say that they're talking about the bad things. I'm talking about both, whether it's good or bad. I would not be the Cyrus Webb I am today without those things. Do you think what you've gone through this year, Chris, is only going to help you become better?
Absolutely. There's been some great times I've had this year. My wife and I celebrated our 10th anniversary as being married. We had a great time. There's so many things. We took trips because we had one of the challenges we buried a few people in our family, so we had to take trips to those funerals. We had to take trips to different spots to settle estates. And the thing is, even though it was a bad reason we were going, we enjoyed our time together when we took the trip. So the thing is you take the negatives and you turn them as much positives. There's a scripture that says, everything the devil meant for evil, God will turn it for your good. So the thing is, every evil that comes in your life, every bad, you have to figure out how you can turn it into good. It may not be something that can be turned into good in your eyes in this season, but there will be a season where you can be like, there's a reason I went through that. I can help so many people going through this process. One of the things is my wife, I love her with my whole heart. And I have to say, she took a tragedy in dealing with her mom having dementia and turned it into a way she wants to help people with PTSD, dementia, Alzheimer's, and things of that nature. So she turned her distress into someone else's de-stress. So that's so critical that we learn how to take our deficits and spin them around, because too often oh man, this is just bad. Yeah, it's bad, but we just over crescendoing the obvious, right?
Yeah.
Um, so you tell someone your life's bad, misery loves company.
Right.
Get positive. Find something good. Hey, you're breathing. You can walk. You can
Yeah.
talk. You can get on Facebook. You can get on Amazon. Um, so many positives you can look at.
Right. You
You
say in
got
the book, Chris, under persistence and patience, and what you just said again, just kind of ties into this. You say this: patience proves what you really believe and what you really perceive. Or if you just have a preference, see a belief as something you're worth dying for, and a preference is a choice. Patience is knowing your purpose and understanding that God does not call you to a purpose to have it become unfulfilled. If you know God, you know your purpose. Patiently, He'll carry you to your destiny. Let Him carry you because your past is not your future. However, your future is created by what you do today. So, how does that, knowing that your future is dependent on what you do today, Chris, how does that help you to, one, not only to show up for yourself, but also to show up for those who are following you, watching you, and inspired by you?
there's a couple of different things. I want to use an analogy if I could. I want to use football. Right, this is football season. It's the fall. If you hand the ball, if you're pretty much like a running team, a team that runs the football, every play you're not going to bust it out for 70, 50, 60 yards. It's going to be 5 yards here, 3 yards there, 2 yards there. You think that running back goes, man, I didn't bust it loose. I'm done. I'm through. I quit. Or the coach goes, hey, that was a bad play. We're not going to ever use that play again because you only got 2 yards. No, they'd be like, okay, maybe it was the wrong time to call that play. You don't know what you don't know. As far as your life, the goal is to win the game. You can win the game, a football game, 3-0. Kick a field goal. You win it 2-0. Get a safety. But here's the thing: you don't know what the other team's capable of doing until you stop them or they score. But you have to keep trying. And guess what? You have a whole lifetime to win. That's a good thing. It's not just an hour. That's one part. Another part is I was listening to this guy, and he said he had a guy come up to him he didn't know and offer to buy his course for $1,000. The guy was selling it for $750, but someone offered him $1,000 just because of his persistence and consistency in what he did. You think no one's watching? There's always someone watching. There's always someone watching. They're watching what you do, what you don't do. They're watching what you say. They're watching what you don't say. They're watching how you carry yourself, how your eyes look into the camera or look away. They're looking at every little thing that you do, and they're making mentally, they're summing you up and saying if you're really who you say you are. Because at the end of the day is people don't care about what you say, they care about who you are and what you're going to do. So that is the essence of what I'm trying to get across, and the essence of what I've had to live out. I've been off social media pretty much for the last 3 to 6 weeks, maybe a little bit longer than that, just because I had to get my base right. I had to get my mind right because I could have offered you guys all sorts of stuff. Just be honest with you, those following from my side of the world, I could have offered you all sorts of stuff, but I wasn't in a position to do that because I've been through so much trauma. I had to take a minute, and it's like the old cowboy movies. A guy gets shot, they take a branding iron and cauterizes where the bullet wound is. Well, I just had to take some time and heal. I had to take some time to get my mind right. I had to take some time to get my spirit right. And now I'm hoping to offer you guys all sorts of stuff because I've walked through some things, more things than I did before. So I have more things to offer than I did before. I've been through a tight time. I've been through a time where I didn't know if I was going to make it. I've been through a time where I thought, hey, let's just throw it all away and just ride off into the sunset. I've been through some things without getting into too much of it. So I know you've been through some things. So
Yeah.
I just want to encourage you. You can make it. You might have to retreat and regroup, re-strategize, but you can make it.
Yeah. Great message, man. Great message. And it is such a, I think it's a timely message as we're beginning a new month. the last quarter of 2021, the home stretch of this year. I love that line, though, in what I read about it all begins today. If you want a better tomorrow, that decision begins today. And I think that is a big thing. Well, Chris, I'm so excited we had a chance to once again have this conversation. It's an important one, I think, for people to know, for one, that they're not alone in what they're going through, and that there are people out there who understand. And maybe our trauma, our hurt, our setbacks look different, but we all are connected by them. We all are connected by them. And I think the fact that you've been able to keep getting up and showing up, I think says a whole lot, and that's the great thing as well. Again, everyone, Chris Collier has been our guest. The book is called Program to Win. I've been reading some of it from it for you guys today. The paperback edition we're actually highlighting right now is $8.99, or you can get the Kindle edition. There it is there for only $3.99. So take advantage of that. And Chris, how can they stay connected with you?
Conquer with Chris. My Facebook page is Conquer with Chris. You can find me there. That's the best way to get in contact with me. You can DM me straight away if you want to know about anything that I'm doing to serve you, help you grow into the person you want to really become.
All right, Chris. Congratulations to you again, man. Give my love to Angela, and looking forward to speaking with you again soon.
Thank you. God bless y'all.
And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. As we're kicking off National Book Month, make sure you guys are tagging all this month, hashtag National Book Month, and follow us. We have great programming coming up for you guys literally all month, and some great surprises, some great celebrity guests that are coming up that have some books that are out, some projects that are out, some people from the NBA. You guys will be hearing from their production company here on Amazon Live as well. Excited about that. And we also will be sharing with you guys some great titles as well. And our book of the month is coming this weekend as well for October. We want you guys to be able to get that here on Amazon. So definitely stay tuned for that. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day. And we'll talk again real soon. Take care.